that this isn't right, that they're in front of something that has the potential to kill them. Now, we don't get that all the time with the cases of the others, but when people have these feelings, I mean, it's just like their sixth sense kicks in. You know, that they know that they're in danger and that there's something not right.
In your book, you mention a lot of the great remote viewers. Russell Tark, by the way, coincidentally, he was supposed to be here today, but he became ill, and thankfully you two took his position. He's at the hospital, so let's send Russell Targ thoughts and prayers for a speedy recovery. But Ingo Swann, I remember in his book Penetration, he mentioned some human-looking aliens, like a woman, and I believe they love to smoke. They don't understand how to eat soup. You remember that?
Right. Yes. And in his book Penetration, he was initially contacted by some government agency that would not reveal themselves, but they worked through the channels that Ingo was familiar with, so he knew that he was dealing with a legitimate agency. But they had asked him to remote view a section on the moon, and they actually gave him like the longitude and latitude, and told him, what do you see in this area? And when he did his remote viewing, he said that he actually saw like dome-shaped buildings on the far side of the moon. And outside of these buildings were what appeared to him to be human beings in the nude on the surface of the moon, working, doing the thing, repairs, things like that.
Mining helium-3.
Yes. But he got the impression at one point that these beings became aware that he was watching them. And he noticed that a change in their attitude and that the feeling that he was in danger, so he had to actually withdraw and make his report. Now, after he did this, he realized that whoever this group was that had hired him to do this was already well aware, excuse me, that there was something going on in this area, and actually told him that other remote viewers had done the same thing and had come into danger from whatever these human-looking things were on the moon, because they were advanced psychically and could trace back other psychic intrusions. So after this event, Ingo Swann was visiting a friend in Los Angeles and was at a local supermarket. And he noticed in the avocado section, looking at avocado.
Exactly.
Yes.
Wow, you have a great memory, Tim.
This extremely beautiful woman. And Ingo said that she was just very striking. And this was in Los Angeles. Lots of beautiful people in Los Angeles. But he said this woman was striking. She had, I think, like heart-shaped sunglasses, red lips, beautiful blonde hair, wearing, booty shorts, that sort of thing. And he said that she was so striking that he actually went and got a little bit closer. But when he did, he got that feeling. His psychic powers kicked in, and he got the feeling that he was in the presence of a non-human entity. He felt that she was an extraterrestrial, but he said later that, what's an extraterrestrial? But he did, say that it was a non-human entity that he felt was an extraterrestrial. But he also said that he got the feeling that if she became aware that he was viewing her and could tell what she was, that his life was in jeopardy. And so he withdrew very quickly and went back out to the car with his friend. And when this woman came out later, he nudged his friend and said, "What do you think of that woman there?" And his friend said, "Oh, you mean the alien?" Ringo said he looked at him like, what did you just say? And his friends say, Los Angeles is full of these things.
Wow.
So how did the friend know?
I don't know. I don't think he ever elaborated on how. I guess that with a lot of people in Los Angeles who maybe are slightly psychic themselves, that these things are apparent. But one of the questions that we ask in the book is, okay, are these things really extraterrestrials? Or are they using that as an excuse to disguise themselves, and like a double blind almost, because the whole extraterrestrial hypothesis with the others is kind of the new flavor in town when it comes with the others. All right, people don't really believe anymore in gods or angels, fairies, the good people. However, human-looking extraterrestrials from other planets, that's a possibility. So it could be that some aspect of these entities use the disguise of extraterrestrials, even if they're human-looking extraterrestrials, to go about their business. The writer Timothy Good, right? He, in one of his books, now Tim Good is a believer in George Adamski, and George Adamski's human-looking beings from the solar system. So once when Tim was in New York, he decided that he was going to try to contact some of these human-looking aliens that were alleged to have infiltrated society since the 1940s, according to some contactees. So in the hotel that he was staying at, the big luxurious hotel, in the lobby, he sat down in the chair, and it was like he was reading a newspaper, and he said he sent out a mental signal to any friendly aliens that were nearby to come by and confirm to him that they were around. Well, he said that not too long after he did that, some guy came in off the street, wearing a suit, had his briefcase, sat down next to him, didn't do anything except he looked over at Tim, kind of nodded his head, and then got up and walked away.
Is that where he took a picture of the Men in Black?
This wasn't one where he had taken a picture.
Okay.
He didn't have that opportunity.
Okay.
But he said that this kind of confirmed to him that that his mental request had been answered. Now it could have been sure, it could have just been some guy who just came in off the street and sat down next to him and I don't know, trying to pick him up or something.
But let me just say this. The amount of recollection that you have, and for anybody that wants to listen to the story that Tim just cited about Timothy Good, you can listen to our interviews from almost 15 years ago where he, in detail, explains exactly what Tim just said. I'm just amazed here because I'm thinking, oh, I remember when Tim said that. You just say it word by word. It's incredible how all these entities that are around us and that we might or we might not be in the presence of some people who might be from somewhere else, because I forgot who's the researcher that says if we ever encounter a extraterrestrial entity, we wouldn't be surprised if they look like a gray alien. But I think the surprise would be if they look like us, because that opens another Pandora's box. If they look like us, does that mean that we were seated here and they were seated over there? That opens a huge can of worms, folks.
Yeah, Paul, do you want to take that?
Yeah. Just like the Nordics, they look like us. They're tall, blonde hair. Well, I don't have blonde hair, but any blonde out there, they look like those blonde people. So, and when the author of the Mothman prophecies, one of the entities that was terrorizing him, or he got very scared of, and was receiving phone calls from, and then he actually met him, was Ingrid Cold. And Ingrid Cold, according to that author, looked human, but was something off about him. So, what happened?